We just made it to Minneapolis in Minnesota. We're here to meet Vieri from Italy, who's spending his exchange here just a few hours north of the city. We're gonna go get our bags and get our car, and then we're gonna drive up there. We're about to pick up Vieri from school right now. Let's go meet him.
What's up, buddy? How are you? Good.
So we're going to talk a little bit about your exchange experience so far. But just to kind of start off, why did you choose to go on exchange?
First, because to live the experience in another country that is completely different from your home country, and then to get out from your comfort zone and completely live a different experience in another language in a place that you don't know and you've never been there. I've decided to go on exchange 2 years ago, and then my mom last year said, "Hey Vieri, do you want to go on exchange?" And I said, "Sure, Mom, let's go." So.
And that's where it started.
Yeah, that's where we're starting.
That's so exciting. So you find out that you get your placement in Toivola, Minnesota.
Toivola, Minnesota.
And what goes through your head? What are your first thoughts?
I was like, it's kind of in the middle of nowhere, but I'll find out something to do in those months that I will be there, and that actually happened. So
yeah. Did you know that Minnesota was a place?
I didn't know. I've never seen it like in TV or something like that. So
right, because mostly you see
Yeah.
California.
Yeah,
you
I
see
see
New York
California.
and LA and all that. Yeah. And so you fly over. You leave Italy. When do you leave? Because you're not doing a full year.
No, I lived on the 17th of January.
Right.
And I took an airplane from Rome to Amsterdam, from Amsterdam to Minneapolis, and then to Duluth, that is the city close to here. And then my host parents came over there and they picked me up. That was super cool, super fun, because you don't actually know how they are until you meet them. So it was super fun.
Yeah.
But I was like alone at the airport. So when I went there were like these people with the sign, "Welcome to America," and I found them in a second. The first days I went with my mom to go shopping, and to my dad we went on snowmobiling outside because of the snow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so that was the first days. Then we went to my school after a couple days to check out all the stuff, and on Wednesday I went there for the first time, and then I met my friends, all my friends that I actually have right now. They are like friends for me, right? They are like brothers and sisters for me right now.
How was the first day?
The first day, I went to the first class. After like 10 minutes, people around just started talking to me, asking me where I came from and stuff like that. And I had lunch with them, so I made friends the first day.
So are you taking the same classes here that you would back in Italy?
I'm taking some of the Italian classes, but they're for the most different. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm just taking English and math, those are the same that in Italy, but then just those two.
What other classes are you taking?
I have forensics.
Okay.
I have geography. I have digital arts.
Oh, cool.
And I have gym. Mm-hmm. And that's it.
So are you doing any sports or any activities with school, or?
Right now I'm not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
They asked me to go to baseball, but I want to live this experience in the United States. Every single day it's different for me.
So what do you usually do on a school day after school?
After school, I usually drive around. One of my friends can drive me around, or we can go to the mall. We can go to eat something like fast food or do something. We can go with a bunch of friends, like going bowling, or we went to the trampoline park. That is super fun, actually, and to the mini golf. There are a lot of stuff to do over here.
Coming here from Italy, because Minnesota is quite different from Italy and from where you're from. You're from Florence.
Florence,
right?
Yeah.
So what has been some things that have been kind of hard to adjust to, or had that just been different that you've noticed?
The most different thing after the weather was the food, but you get used to it. So right now I'm not missing a lot the Italian food.
Okay,
So
yeah. Have you found a favorite fast food restaurant yet?
Yeah, I usually go to DQ, or we go to McDonald's, but McDonald's is also in Italy, so.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah. But Dairy Queen is really
Dairy
good.
Queen,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
it's
an ice
really
cream place.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really love it.
Well, are there any other things that you found visually or just culturally different?
It's like in the movies that every single hour you just go around the school. You change your classes, and in Italy it's not like that. You just stay in one class for all the 6 hours. You stay there.
Oh, so you're in the same class?
Yeah, you're in the same class with the same
Wow.
classmates.
Yeah.
Here you just go around every hour. You change your classes.
Speaking of walking around the school, was it hard for you to find your classes in the beginning?
I got in late bunch of times. Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
One time I was in one class on Wednesday. I was just staying in there. And the teacher was not showing up. And I was like, okay, he probably is not at school. There's another teacher, so it's probably just a sub. After like 40 minutes, one of my friends says, hey, Vieri, I didn't know that we had this class together. I looked at the calendar, and it was Wednesday, and I have another class in that hour. So I went to the other teacher, and he said, yeah, you were not here at 8:30, so.
Yeah,
That's
so you
it.
got late for that.
Yeah, I got late 40 minutes because of that.
Because obviously now you're doing school in all English. Was that hard adjusting to and just talking English all the time in general?
Oh, a lot of people help you because of that. Like the language arts teacher, she helps me a lot to do their stuff, because those are like historical languages and do stuff like that. But it's kind of easy when you get used to it. Like after the first month, you just start talking in English like if it was your first language. So.
Have you started, when did you start dreaming in English? Or have you started
I
yet?
started like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
After like a month. Right now I also think in English when I'm like out with my friends. Or right now, actually, I'm thinking in English, and I'm not thinking anymore in Italian, just because you get used to it.
I feel like you're living your best self
Yeah.
doing your exchange here now.
Super cool.
Which is actually not an exchange year, sorry. You're doing a semester.
Yeah, I'm
right?
doing a semester. I wish to have been here for a year.
Really? Yeah. What made you choose to do a semester instead of a full year?
First, I was scared about staying for this long time, for an entire year of school in not my country, outside of my country. But right now I wish to go back to that and go for an entire year, because it's super cool. Yeah, and I don't want to actually go back home right now. So.
Really? Yeah, so you want to stay as long as possible. And do you think you're going to come back to Minnesota after this?
Yeah, sure. I'm going to come back pretty much every summer, I think.
Yeah.
To visit my host parents and my friends. That I have a bunch of friends over here, and they all already asked me, Vieri, are you coming next summer? And I'm like, sure, okay, I'm coming.
That's so fun, yeah. And I'm sure it's fun for them too, knowing that they have you basically halfway across the world to come visit if they want to.
Yeah.
So to kind of wrap this whole thing up, I feel like you told us so many cool things about your year, but do you have any tips for future exchange students, or for anyone that's watching this that's considering going on exchange, or maybe struggling choosing between half a year and a year?
The first thing that I recommend is just to don't like use the phone on the first week and try to make friends, meet people, and they will be your experience, your actual experience. So it's just like that, just that.
Thank you so much for sitting down with us and talking about your experience.
Thank you.
I'm sure that if any of you guys have any questions for Vieri about going on exchange, about choosing between a semester or a year, we'll include his info in the box below, and I'm sure he's more than happy to answer any questions you might have. Good job. We had a great time visiting Vieri. We got to see school and learn more about life in Minnesota. Now we're heading to a new state and our next student. Make sure to subscribe so you can watch our videos when they come out.
You ready for the dopest song in the world? That's it.